The latest Quinnipiac poll has Joseph Biden doing better against Republican candidates than Hillary Clinton. And of course, now the media is all buzz. Hit the brakes. I'm going to teach you some things about polls today that will help your discernment radar over the next year. I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance.
Those who forsake the law praise the wicked. Those who uphold the law resist them. Welcome to the Voice of Resistance. Here's your host, Randall Terry.
Welcome to the program. I do this show with an agenda. It's to get inside of your head, hopefully then get inside of your heart, and then hopefully those two things together help you to act the way that you should act, to jump into the fray, to say something with a family at a family gathering or at the water cooler at work or wherever, so that you begin to go from being quiet and watching on the sidelines to being somebody who is bold with their opinion. And maybe even, for some, you become a political activist. You become a culture warrior. You run for office. You go back to college, whatever. So this program is designed, if I may, to affect the course of history in America. Because if you can affect a few good people, as Samuel Adams said, it is not necessary to have a majority to triumph. You just need a minority that is dedicated, whose minds are on fire, and people that are intent to stir up trouble, to stir people. He said it in different ways, in different quotes, but you can go look for it, all right? A minority bent on changing things. I read this, most of this Quinnipiac poll. It's one of the most comprehensive polls I've seen in a long time. And I'm depressed. I'm actually depressed reading this poll. And I want to talk to you about polls from various angles. And there's some of these things that are really funny, but we will get to them in this show. They ask the people that they polled, what's the first word that comes to your mind when you think of Hillary? There's a lot of words I cannot say on the air. What's the first word that comes to your mind when you think of Trump? Again, things I can't say on the air. What are some of the things you say about Jeb Bush? There's a lot there that I could say on the air, but it kind of makes you yawn. So we will get to some of those things. This poll was roughly over 1,500 Americans, registered voters, about 650 Democrats, 650 Republicans, and the balance were independents or other, but independents. So this is a fairly big cross section. That's a fairly large sample group. And it's demoralizing, it's depressing on a number of levels. I'll deal with the depressing first, and then I'm going to talk to you and teach you about polling, okay? What to look for. And then we'll have some fun looking at some of these comments about other people. The reason it's depressing is because so many people in this country have been seduced in their thinking away from the principles of the Declaration of Independence and into the principles of Marxism, all right? And I'm talking about not just pagans, not just people who do not know the Lord or who are not baptized. I'm talking about Christians. I'm talking about men and women who profess with their mouth that they believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. Many people, perhaps some people watching this program, are not Christian in their orientation for law and culture, the duty of government, the duty of family, but they're Marxist. One quick story from my own life. I was talking with a devout Christian man who's on the board of a church, an evangelical church, a college professor in mathematics, genius. And we were debating politics, and I said to him, well, what's the purpose of government? And he's, without skipping a beat, he said, the main purpose of government is the redistribution of wealth. And I mean, I could feel the chill go down my back. I said, do you understand who you're quoting? You just quoted Karl Marx. You just quoted Karl Marx. The redistribution of wealth is not a Christian principle. It's a Marxist principle. And, you know, hopefully that conversation, I happen to know that it did help put him on the path to rethink his premises. But there's a lot of Christian people who have been catechized in the temples of our enemies, catechized in the temples of the enemies of God and the laws of God. And while they have the mark of Christ on them through their baptism and their profession of faith, they don't think in terms of biblical laws or biblical rules or Christian principles. They think about the world in terms of Marxist principles, socialist principles, redistribution of the wealth, etc. So when I see a poll like this, it vexes me because 47% of these people in this poll give a favorable rating to Barack Obama. 91% of all African Americans in this poll gave a favorable rating of Barack Obama. Those 91% of those voters, they're just probably racists. I'll explain that when we come back from this break. But the rest of the people, at least those other 47%, either they've lost their mind or they lost their heart and soul. Thanks to friends like you, we have state-of-the-art cameras and state-of-the-art teleprompters and state-of-the-art gear here in the studio. We have one big need, however. We have not yet been able to upgrade our computers. The computers that we use for a television broadcast or to create a documentary are not like the kind that you can just go buy at Best Buy. They are expensive because it takes so much horsepower to create TV series and or documentaries. So I'm asking you, if you want to see this show grow and you want to see us finish the What Would Muhammad Do series, help us get these computers. 3 computers that we need right now are going to be just shy of $20,000. That's the kind of horsepower that we need. Go to the GoFundMe page you see right there, watch the pilot for What Would Muhammad Do, and if you like the show, give us a gift. When I say that the 91% of African Americans who hold a favorable rating of Barack Obama are probably racist, or a good portion of them, what I mean by that is very simple. It means that they are going to vote favorably for him no matter what he does, simply because he's black. That's it. Those numbers, 91, 92%, are a reflection of the election from the day of 2008 and the day of 2012, both elections. That's how many people voted for him that are African American. And those numbers of favorable ratings have held without fluctuation. All right? That's a racist vote. In other words, I don't care what he does, I don't care what he says, I don't care what scandal, I don't care what deal he cuts with people that want to blow us up in Iran, I don't care if he betrays Israel, I don't care if he betrays marriage, I don't care if he betrays babies, I don't care if he's using our money to kill black babies in Planned Parenthood. He's black, and so I support him. I give him a high approval rating. The end. That's not a thinking person. That's not even people who will answer a poll based upon their ethics. It transcends their ethics. Do you understand? The African American community is more opposed statistically to homosexual marriage than white Americans. And they are dramatically opposed to child killing. We call that abortion. And yet, this man, the most aggressive proponent of child killing and homosexual marriage that the Western Hemisphere has ever seen, okay? They give him a 91% approval rating. So that means that their approval of him transcends their faith in God and transcends their obedience to the laws of God himself. They're putting race, the color of his skin, ahead of his ethics, his obedience to God's law, the innocent blood of babies, the sacrament, the covenant of marriage. If that's not an emblem of racism, think if it was inverted. Think of it if it was inverted. If we, you can do the math, all right? No, I'm white, he's white, it doesn't matter what he does. He's white, I'm white. So everything is all white. All right, let's move on. The poll, by the way, go online. I hate the cyberspace, but this is a 23-page poll. All right, it had, I think, 83 questions. Some of them were split questions, but it's a massive poll. It's a massive poll, and people are going to be talking about this poll for a few days. let's see. I will talk. I'll finish up with why I'm depressed, then we're going to cut to the chase on the polls. The reason that this poll depresses me, all right, is that Hillary Clinton against Marco Rubio, Jeb Bush, Donald Trump, okay? Whatever you think about any three of those men. Marco Rubio, Jeb Bush, Donald Trump, in a head-to-head contest, she beats them. Every single one of them. Now, when you, let's do it now. That makes sense, all right? Thank you, the little voice inside my head. There's a voice inside my head that says, keep going with your thought. Then there's another voice that says, no, let's be unpredictable. Ready? Here are the questions. Now remember, Hillary beats Trump, Bush, Rubio. That was one of the things that they polled. So here's the question. What is the first word that comes to your mind when you think of Hillary Clinton? And these numbers are not percentages. Figures show the number of times each response was given. This table reports only words that were mentioned at least 5 times. So you're on the poll, you're taking the poll, right? Yes, yes. Oh, by the way, the pollster asks you, what's the first word that comes to your mind when you hear the name Hillary? Boom, they just, whatever it is, that first word out of their mouth, that's what they write down. Ready? I'm going to read to you the order that they come in. Liar, 178 people. Dishonest, 123 people. Now, right off the bat, that's 300. So that means that 20% of the people that voted, okay, said, bang, liar and dishonest, right out of the chute. The third thing that they say is untrustworthy. The fourth one, that was 93. The fourth one is experience. That's the first positive word. Then the next is strong. Then the next is Bill. There's so many jokes there, but we don't have time, and it's not the point. Then woman, smart, crook, untruthful, criminal, deceitful. Then we've got Democrat, intelligent, email, politician. Then here goes another wave. Benghazi, corrupt, crooked, determined, good, leader, murder. There's one. Oh, that goes all the way back to the Arkansas days. Qualified. We're down to 9 people said qualified. Out of 1,500, the first word that came to their mind, 9 of them said qualified. 9 of them said trustworthy. 8 of them said a word that begins with B. And next said competent, then phony, president, cheat, deceptive. 7 people said honest. 7 people said scandal, sneaky, ambitious, arrogant. There's so many negatives here. It's mind-boggling. Now, these are people, please understand me, these are people that were polled. All of those answers they gave, these are the exact same people that said they would vote for her over Bush, Rubio, or Donald Trump. These are people that despise this woman. And then they still turn around and say, but I'd vote for her over Bush or Rubio or Trump. God save us. God save us. Who are you people? Where are you? If you're watching this show and you're one of them, please contact me. Please go to our website and email me. We read all of our letters. I want to hear from you. I might even interview you because I want to know what you're smoking, what you're drinking, what medication you should be taking. I mean, I don't mean to be rude. I don't want to be unkind. Oh, yes, I do. Anyway, this is why I'm depressed. You would be depressed. If you had to do research for a show like this every day and read numbers like this, you would be depressed. That's it. I quit. I'm pulling a Dan Rather. I am off the set. I am out of here. Christians must be involved in government, period. If Christians weren't involved in government, we would not have a United States of America. And there have been brilliant Christian minds over the centuries, such as John Locke, who is called the philosopher of American liberty. He was quoted by Clarence Thomas in his recent dissent on the homosexual marriage decision. If we don't understand John Locke, we don't understand the founding of America. I want to send you this book and my book, The Sword, subtitled The Blessing of Righteous Government and The Overthrow of Tyrants. I want to send you these 2 books for a gift of whatever you can afford. Pay the $8 shipping and handling, which does not cover our costs, and then give a gift of whatever size you want, and we'll send you these books. If you cannot afford anything but the $8, can't even afford that, write us a note, and we'll send them to you for free. I want you to have these books so that you can be better equipped to fight in the political arena. Come on, order them today. Oh, flew in from Miami Beach, BOAC. Didn't get to bed last night. All the way the paper bag was on my knee. He's talking about throwing up, paper bag on the knee, because he just read the Quinnipiac poll. All right, look, if people can be crazy enough to give these kind of answers on their polling data, why can't I be crazy enough to play my guitar in the air? They don't pay me enough for this. I'm complaining. Now I'm complaining. I love doing this show. I really do. It's an honor. It's a privilege. But, man, we are in deep, deep trouble. All right, let me teach you about polling for a minute. This poll is instructive because the sample is large enough to matter. Here's what it does not reflect. All right, what we don't know, and well, here's what we don't know. We don't know how many of these people were from California, New York, Illinois. Okay? We don't know. So this poll, the fact that Hillary beats Trump or Rubio in a head-to-head contest by 5 or 6 points, it really doesn't mean anything. Because if she runs against him, any one of those people in California, she's going to win by 15 or 18 or 20 points. So it's going to make the margins in the other states really tight. Do you understand what I'm saying? Here's what would matter. If you did this exact same number of people in all 50 states, all right, then you get to look at the Electoral College. I'm turning over here because this is an instructive moment for Billy Bob and the rest of our staff. What matters is the Electoral College. Who wins, okay? That's what matters. There's 535 electoral votes, and the winner gets the presidency. So we've had races where they were so close with the popular vote, but then one person or the other won, sometimes by a numerical landslide electorally. If my memory is correct, John F. Kennedy lost the popular vote, but won the presidency. It was that tight. Clinton may have not even had a majority of people vote for him on one election. I think that is true. Clinton had not a majority of people vote for him, but he still became the president because he won the Electoral College. So a poll like this is instructive, but it doesn't mean jack, because South Carolina is not going to vote for Hillary against anybody. It doesn't matter till the end of time. All right, they would march into Mexico backwards before they would vote for Hillary. All right? Same with Mississippi right now. California is going to go to whoever the Democratic nominee is. It doesn't matter who they are. And the African American community, 12%, 13% of the American populace, they're going to vote for the Democratic, 90% of them are going to vote for the Democratic nominee, whoever it is. So polls like this, while instructive, do not tell you in the least how it's going to shake out on Election Day. Okay? That's what matters. Now, let's talk for a minute about Joe Biden. I'll come back to instructing you more on polls, so a way that will help you. Joe Biden, in a head-to-head against Rubio, Trump, or Jeb Bush, does better than Hillary against those three candidates. Good old Uncle Joe, our crazy Uncle Joe. I'll just say this about Biden, then I've got to take a break. Every family has a crazy relative that they keep in the basement, okay? They have a crazy relative, and they're crazy. Everyone knows it. They love them, hug them, kiss them, crazy relative. But you keep them in the basement. You sure as heck don't let them have the keys to the car, and you don't let them make decisions that affect the whole family because they're the crazy relative, all right? So we can all hug and kiss and laugh at Joe, Uncle Joe, and his funny gaffes and blah, blah, blah. For the love of Pete, for the love of the family, don't give him the keys to the car. Are you insane? Friend, this TV show represents a mission. It's to be a voice of resistance to the evil in the land, but also to inspire people like you to take a stand at any level that you might be able to equip you, to inspire you, to challenge you, to give you the rhetorical ammunition that you need. But we still have to pay bills. This program, as you know if you're a regular viewer, we don't spend a lot of time raising money. We don't spend a lot of time saying, oh, you need to buy this and we're gonna, no. We're bringing you a message, but we still have bills that we need to pay. I'm asking you, if you have been blessed by this show, to please go to our website or send a check to the address you see on the screen or call the phone number that you see on the screen and use your credit card and to give $50 or $100 or $500 just to help us meet our normal expenses. And we'll keep bringing you this hard-hitting show. The American populace has shown over the last generation that we are addicted to bread and circuses, and that as long as the bread is good and the circus is funny, we'll let you trick us. Meet the old boss, same as the new boss. All right, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. So this poll, all right, this poll is partly it's on drugs, and partly the poll is designed to manipulate the direction of the election. That's what this is. This comes, the Quinnipiac poll comes from a college in Connecticut. Guarantee that it's an absolutely maniacally left-wing school. And you can see that in part by the questions that they ask, because the questions that they ask are designed in part to drive the election forward. For example, I'll show you what I mean. Here's the negatives. All right, Biden tops Trump 48-40. Clinton edges Trump 45-41. Sanders edges Trump 44-41. The trustworthy one, where is that? Oh, I can't find it. The trustworthy one, both Hillary and, there it is. Clinton is not trustworthy, is not honest and trustworthy. Voters say that 61-34, her lowest score ever. Trump is not honest and trustworthy. Voters say that 54-38. So he does a little bit better than her with honest and trustworthy. Now, I want you to understand something. This is giving ammunition to media and to pollsters or political hacks and the candidates, therefore, to determine where they go, where they hit, where they punch. So when you read these things, this is Quinnipiac's way of exploiting. All right, we found the real negative here. And if you press this button, okay, you got a good chance of taking Trump down. And what they found in this, by the way, this is a quick side note. They found what we discussed yesterday, that Trump is way ahead of his nearest competitor, and he seems to be impervious, just absolutely impervious to attack. And it's really weird because Hillary, if you look at the negatives, the things that people say about her, they despise her, but they're going to vote for her. Did we talk about Trump? Do we have time to do this? Can we go the names that people call Trump? Let's do that really quickly. I'm going to get to them because some of these are really funny. I don't know if we'll be able to do Jeb. Yeah, we'll do Jeb too. All right. Here is all right, that's Hillary. Here comes Jeb. These are yawners. This is funny. What is the first word that comes to your mind when you think of Jeb Bush? I won't give you the numbers, but Bush, family, honest, weak, brother, dynasty, experience, George, Florida, politician, republic, moderate, governor, establishment, conservative, father, legacy, nice, trustworthy. Almost every single one of them are positive. These are all positive reactions that people have to him, like milquetoast. Oh, he's a nice guy. He's trustworthy. And yet they won't vote. They'll vote for Hillary over him. That's how crazy we are. And that's how much people want things from the government. And finally, first words that come to your mind when you think of Donald Trump, I'll just read these as we go out, okay? Arrogant, blowhard, idiot, businessman, clown, honest, ego, money, outspoken, crazy, rich, showman, strong, word that begins with A. Joke, loud, leader, pompous, bombastic, egomaniac, loudmouth, racist, big mouth, aggressive, buffoon, unfavorable, braggart, brash, flamboyant, narcissistic.